I'm disabled. There it is. Of course, this doesn't define me, it's just a fact. And I wanted to make a video, and I went through everything that I gave a fuck about. And ableism interests me, I have to admit. That's because ableism is a real issue, and it has affected me in many different facets of my life. But, of course, in the current year, 2017, discrimination in all forms has been well and truly watered down. In my opinion, we shouldn't put different levels of discrimination under the same umbrella. Equating somebody misspeaking or saying something that they consider harmless with somebody physically assaulting or knowingly demeaning you because you are disabled are completely different things. Intent and context are important to me. So this video is just me responding to people who have very valid opinions. I just happen to disagree with a lot of what they say. So this video is about ableism, more specifically ableist language. So if that's something that you're interested in, then continue to watch as we dive headfirst into the magical world of ableism. Okay, what have we got first? Who's first?
Even woke people use this product and have no idea. Today, I'm unboxing Ableism.
Oh god, no, not to start off with. Anyway, want to start off with something light and easy. Maybe we'll come back to that patronizing twat.
Welcome to #Spina Bifida.
Oh yeah, now that's more like it. Nice pretty lady. Nice little cheerful intro, like da 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 spina bifida da 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 da, you know. Yeah, this'll do. Let's do this one.
Today's an interesting topic. I've never spoken about it before on camera.
Oh, how I wish you'd continued that tradition.
And I don't know how eloquently I can convey this message. But I wanted to talk about ableism, specifically ableism in the disabled community.
Oh, fuck, you mean like internalized ableism? Oh, man.
I do plan on making a video about ableism to help educate those who are not disabled to stop using ableist language.
And that would be fantastic if you were, maybe referring to people who go around to people in wheelchairs and go, hey, wheelie asshole. But you're not. You're talking about common, everyday, innocuous, harmless little words and phrases that aren't in any way ableist, and that's just my opinion.
But I have been getting comments since I started making videos from disabled people who are using ableist language directed to me and directed to each other, which is...
Welcome to another episode of Guess That Buzzword. So, once again, for the chance of winning absolutely nothing, what buzzword did this young lady use next? Was it A, controversial, B, problematic, or C, you already guessed B, didn't you? Well, you'd be correct, sir or ma'am.
It's very problematic. I have my laptop with me to help me with my points that I have made. So for once, it's not completely just from my brain, which is good for you and kind of good for me. Now, if you don't know what ableism means, it refers to discrimination in favor of able-bodied people, according to the Oxford Dictionary. But the reality of ableism extends beyond literal discriminatory acts, intentional or not.
Hold up. What you just did there, you see, you were talking about the dictionary definition of ableism, and then you carried on into what you will admit is an article with somebody's subjective opinion You can't say ableism is this, which is all fact, and then just add on non-fact, and then expect us to go, yes, that it's foolproof. It's on a laptop, so obviously it's true. How can someone be unintentionally ableist? Unintentional prejudice. It's no.
To the way our culture views disabled people as a concept. Ableism is also the belief that people with disabilities need to be fixed or cannot function as full members of society, and that having a disability is a defect rather than a dimension or difference.
A disability is a defect. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. A disability is a defect. Yes, it is. 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 Okay, look, I'm sorry. If you want to go through life and your belief is that your disability is a dimension that other people don't have, or a difference, and you look at it in a positive manner, that's great. More power to you. But I like to be realistic. I know that my disabilities are defects that hold me back in many ways. I don't think that admitting that, or other people acknowledging that, or keeping it in their mind at all times is necessarily a bad thing. So to say that ableists look at people with disability as having defects, that's ridiculous. That's what it is.
This is from an article entitled 6 Forms of Ableism We Need to Retire Immediately. Every article I mention will be linked in the description below so that you can further educate yourself and understand ableism as a concept. Now I want to go back to the point where it states that it can be intentional or not. I have gotten comments saying, you don't look disabled and compared to me, you're not. Comments that try to compliment me, such as, some of us are not as fortunate as you have been. I'm not as lucky as her to have little to no problems. Or your walk is so normal, I'm jealous.
Yes, the disabled, like all other groups, have dickheads in it. Just because they're insecure, that's not your problem. And I completely understand that, some people look at somebody else and say, well, that person's not as disabled as I am. Why is it that they get to be put on the same level as I am and all? I can't even go into it properly because it's just so illogical for me to follow, because if you're disabled, you're disabled. Simple as. So I completely agree with this point, but I still don't believe in internalized ableism. That's crazy. Oh no, not crazy. That's ableist. Ah, shit. I guess I do have internalized ableism. Oh, fuck. What? Right. I need to change the intro. I'll be right back. Much better. You were saying?
I understand the intentions of these comments, but it's very ableistic for people in my community to be saying that, not only to me, but I'm sure it's said to other people.
Oh my god. If you're going to make a video talking about ableist language, you better make sure you don't start making up words like ableistic. What the hell is that? No, I'm kidding, but that's not a word, seriously. But you're right, some people do go around saying things to fellow disabled people, but just because somebody's blind doesn't mean that they're gonna have some extra sympathy for somebody who's deaf. It doesn't impact our lives in such a way that we're instantly empathetic human beings all over.
I've mentioned before about not comparing disabilities with one another, but making these assumptions and using this language is basically reinforcing that ableist view by saying my walk looks normal, is perpetuating this fact that having a tiny limp or wearing braces is not the norm, which for a lot of people it is.
Yeah, and there are people out there in the world that indulge in incest. that's normal for them. It doesn't mean it's normal for other people. You can't look at life in such a one-dimensional way to say that I have a limp and that's normal and everybody else should just accept that fact. The fact is, we are all going to notice things that are abnormal to ourselves in our lives. Doesn't mean they're ableist, doesn't mean they hold prejudice, just means that they are clumsy human beings when it comes to being somewhat subtle. There are people in this world that are about as subtle as the letter B in the word subtle. That's just a fact.
If you're saying that you don't look as disabled or your walk is normal, you're just furthering this idea that able bodies put on us, that we are supposed to look this way, that we are supposed to walk this way, instead of embracing the diversity that we have as disabled human beings. So yes, in a mainstream view, there's a lot of parts of me that fit that abled look. And for the most part, I am able passing. I recognize that privilege. So I asked for you to read the articles. I have articles that I have found on everyday feminism, on able passing virtually online.
Ooh, yeah, that's what I need in my ableism. Feminism. Just like I love peanut butter and chocolate. Feminism, yay. Fucking able passing. Okay, you know what? You're a nice lady. I like you. You make some valid points. But it's clear that you have some very, very... I don't even know how to say it without making me sound like such an asshole. So you know what? I'm not even going to say it. You're a nice lady. I wish you the best. This is me being patronizing. Enjoy.
Another common thing is how people literally use disability in order to insult or condescend to someone.
What are you, blind? Are you deaf?
What is wrong with you? Are you mentally ill? You need help. You seriously need help.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? No, you got that answer wrong. How dare you? Wrong. What is wrong with you? That is such a ridiculous statement to say. This video is so annoying, and I'm not even going to show the vast majority of it, because then this whole video would be about an hour long. Context is important. Yes, when somebody says, "What, are you blind?" and then you have to respond with that saying, yes, I am actually blind. I personally am legally blind. It's all about how you make that person feel. Are you going to make that person feel awkward and police them for their language? Or are you going to just wave it off? Because let's face it, if you have disabilities, if you have issues, then the words that people use in such a harmless context would never ever even come close to surmounting the actual issue itself. I personally had cancer. When somebody refers to something in a negative way as "that's cancerous," it doesn't in any way devalue the horrible affliction that is cancer. It is just a ripped context. We are expressive, creative human beings. And if you take offense from such words, then I'm sorry, but you are an SJW, which you clearly are. Look at your hair. God damn it.
Nut job? Psycho? How can you be so stupid?
What if we are actually blind or visually impaired? What if we are actually deaf or hard of hearing?
Yeah, exactly. And what? Oh, I guess it presents a fantastic opportunity to make people feel horrible for harmless phrases they've picked up over the years, over their lifetime. What are you, deaf? What are you, blind? when people say this, like you said clearly in the video, it's unintentional and it's harmless. There are actual issues when it comes to being disabled. There are issues with ableist language and ableism itself in a general context, and this just isn't important. Why am I making a video on it then? Oh, shut up. That's why.
What are you, blind? And as a matter of fact, yes. Yes, I am blind. It's time for the talk.
Like I said previously, it is time for the talk, and I think that the responsibility is on you and how you make that person feel when you reveal the information. The fact that they are using and asking that question means that they've, probably used it so many times and never actually been met with a positive response, or rather a negative response. So I do personally feel like the responsibility is on me to let that person know that what they just said was completely harmless and there's absolutely no guilt for using it. They happen to just be right, and I think they should be free to use the phrase "what are you, blind?" in the future. If they choose not to, that's their preference. Of course, it's different for everybody.
And it's like they don't mean it like that. They're joking around. But that's the thing. Look, political correctness, that's a topic of itself. But you should know what the definitions of words are before you use them.
I'm pretty sure when somebody says, "What are you, blind?" they're very much aware of what that word means. They may not mean it in that exact context, but I doubt that you'd respond with, "Yes, actually, I am blind," and they'd say, "Really? What does that actually mean?" I think they know. I mean, hopefully they would.
And otherwise, you're going to make yourself look bad. You're gonna see. I didn't say dumb or stupid because that's not right, and I'm trying to eliminate those from my vocabulary.
Well, I mean, you can call somebody dumb. I mean, what are they going to respond with? Oh, that's so terrible. That's awful. Oh yeah, I sure body bag dumb people, don't I? Jesus Christ. Ha ha. I'm like Goldberg in this bitch. So, who's next?
Would you date someone who's trans?
Oh, fuck. So this is a video by a YouTuber by the name of Riley Dennis. It's quite infamous because in it she claims that if you wouldn't date somebody who is trans, then you are transphobic. If you won't date somebody of a different race, you are racist, and so on down the line, until we get, of course, to disabled people. If you won't date them, you are an ableist. So that's the part we're going to focus on. Low-hanging fruit. That's not a reference to testicles, because Riley here is a female, biological female.
And lastly, let's talk about disabled people. Disabilities come in a very wide range, from being deaf to being in a wheelchair to only having one arm, and I think it's pretty ridiculous to say that you couldn't be attracted to any person who has any of those disabilities.
You're talking about two different things. You're talking about attraction and relationships. Of course, it's possible to be attracted to somebody who is disabled, but your video is about how your dating preferences are discriminatory. If somebody is disabled, they have a handful of different factors and variables that will impact that relationship. So of course, people are going to make decisions based on that. It has nothing to do with attraction. Of course, that may also be a factor, but you're talking about them as if they're in the same thing, and they're not. They're really not. So there.
Disabilities can happen to anyone. Someone you're extremely attracted to today could become disabled tomorrow.
Was that a threat? Did you threaten me? I swear to God, if you as much as hurt her, I will fucking kill you.
And that shouldn't make your attraction to them disappear.
What? Oh, thank God for that. Jeez. Like, I thought you were threatening me, but in reality, you were just talking complete bollocks. So, thank God.
Though if it does, it might not be because of them, but rather because you have some preconceived ideas about disabled people that are just inaccurate and harmful. Unsurprisingly, this is another case of the media telling you that a certain group isn't attractive. Disabled people are rarely romantic leads. Their stories in movies and TV shows are often tragic.
So what you're saying is, the reason why I can't get a date is because people have been brainwashed by the films, and if there was more disabled people in romantic scenarios in films, people would go, wow, that looks appealing. Jesus Christ, do you honestly think I want to sit there in the cinemas going, oh, I just cannot relate to this. I can't wait for the film where the bad guy has the damsel in distress, and the good guy just doesn't show up. He doesn't show up, and he rings up, and he's like, there's no wheelchair access. Or my arthritis is acting up. I can't come today. Fuck off.
But that doesn't reflect the reality that disabled people can be happy and have dating lives and be attractive. Now, if you're not attracted to someone, you're not attracted to them. I'm not going to tell you that you have to be attracted to this fat person or that trans person or that disabled person. But the more you work at unlearning your own prejudices, the more you'll be able to see people from these groups as people rather than tired stereotypes.
Riley, I have absolutely no issues in sitting here and labeling you an honest-to-God ableist. You are an ableist. You are patronizing, and you clearly are projecting. You have prejudices. Now, I'm sure you as yourself, as a transgender person, feel that you are, in a way, responsible for getting this out there, and maybe you have good intentions, but I think you're an ableist. But here's the important part. Just because I said it doesn't mean it's true. No one has a monopoly when it comes to opinions. I am not the king of the disabled. Whatever I says isn't whatever I says. Whatever I says, whatever I did, I didn't mean it. Riley, I just want you gone for good. No, that's too harsh. I don't care. Stick around.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It is an acting award.
Fine. Okay. Let me do a quick review of this guy in this video. Let me just take a couple more dozen painkillers.
Well, witness Arts Academies honor able-bodied actors over and over again for pretending they have a disability. Applaud their calculated performance of a lifestyle they've never lived, because after all, they're method actors, and they put 2 whole months of grueling research into this role.
Yeah, let's give out Oscars to the disabled actors who pretend they're not disabled. Wait a minute, hang on. I thought Riley told us before that they're underrepresented. That the stories. Oh wait, no, they were tragic, weren't they? She said that the stories of disabled people were tragic, and that's usually, more Oscar bait. So I don't even know why this patronizing wanker just gets under my skin. Under the skin, Scarlett Johansson. Never seen it. Might do one day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fuck you. Fuck you. So there you have it. There's the video. It is over. I cherry-picked to my heart's content. I was unjust. I was not rational. I don't care. This was just fun. Let's face it, you're not even watching. You're not even listening to this right now. Am I even disabled? Will you ever know? I am actually disabled. And I just want to say in all seriousness that I have absolutely no issues with anybody that I have talked about in this video. I wish them all the best. I just disagree with some of their opinions. That's all. Thank you. Bye.